Should all acquaintance be forgot, but toy trends get the F out of here. It's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time to start your week off right here on Nerd Initiative. Mickey,
Yes.
play the intro. Oh, I'm so adorable. I'm like, happy baby new year. And also, big shout out to Mickey. When it comes to anything here on the channel, or mostly stuff here on the channel, and a lot of the stuff that he and I do, especially for Play for Keeps, he is the backstage guy, producer, video guy extraordinaire. So that's another fantastic intro. So,
Thank you.
yes. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm dressed up just nice in time for you. Mickey, of course, is with us as always. We're talking about toy trends from 24 that we want to see go away and things we want to see coming up in 2025 this year. Now, as always, we are so happy to have you here on Nerd Initiative with everything that is going on. We've got a brand new whole year of content coming up, and we are so happy to be here with you. But as always, I'm all just so verklempt right now. Let's do this the right way. My name's Off the Cuff Tom, Nerd Initiative's pop culture connoisseur, and let me introduce, of course, the man behind the myth, the legend, the voice, Mr. Mickey CWK Smith.
How's it going, everybody? A little under the weather tonight, so if I sound funny, I'm sorry, but no sick days here, buddy. I'm grinding. I'm ready to go.
Yep. Now, obviously, the holidays had happened. We usually talk about our toy pickups. This we start off with. I believe it or not, did not get really anything this year as far as toys. I have a vacation coming up in February, so maybe when I'm down, I might go hit up the Tamashii Nation store.
Yes.
Maybe I might, So, I mean, I have potential toyness coming.
That's cool.
Did Santa bring you anything good?
A couple comic books. I got a All-Star Superman collection special and Daniel Warren Johnson's Extremity, which I was hyped for. I got the hardcover for that.
Very nice.
As far as like toys or figures, collectibles, nothing really. No.
Yeah. Oh, no, I am wrong. I did get something. So my sister-in-law, we have a family thing that all the adults just pick a name from a hat, so we don't have to buy for everybody. You just buy for that one person. And a lot of people know I love the T-Turtle card game Unstable Unicorns from Unstable Games.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a pack called the Rainbow Apocalypse, which they started doing minis for, and they're blind box minis. And what's interesting about it is that, a lot of blind boxes that you get, say if it was like a Lego minifig or adorable or this, that, the other thing, you're spending $8 to $10, maybe $12 on them.
Yeah.
What Unstable Games does is that you're going to spend $15 on it, but hold your unicorns.
Okay.
You're going to get a figure with, and it says on the side of the boxes, what's the rarity or how many do you get per case. So it's 1 in 18, 2 in 18, so on and so forth. But you also get a playable foil variant for the card game itself.
Okay.
So it's a twofold. And I love catching these things when you can get them on sale. I mean, I have some figures around, whether it's Unstable Unicorns or the llamas or so on and so forth. But my sister-in-law lucked out. She pulled one of the super rares. There's a super and an ultra rare.
Oh.
I got the golden dipped unicorn.
Nice.
And now knowing that and comparing it to the other ones, I think I just want to walk around the stores with a little digital scale and go, which one's the heavier one? I'll be that guy. I used to do that. The worst one was my wife used to collect Tsum Tsums, the little plastic figures from Jakks Pacific. And we have an amazing collection of that. And then it led in adorables and all that other stuff. Walmart had an exclusive line of these color pop ones. So they were like, here's a little toned up version with a splash of something that's literally just a, Jackson Pollock of something. And I would sit there 45 minutes at a time and just go through them, fondling the packs. And yes, fondling is the word.
Yes.
Just to find the one little tiny, chip that is in Stitch's ear so she could get that one specifically.
That's the same way with the I used to do with the Lego minifigures too. When they release those, you don't want to get any duplicates, so you're just sitting there massaging the package,
Yep.
looking for that certain piece that's very specific to that character if you can.
And then we learn about the punch codes on Reddit.
Yeah, and then they went to the daggone cardboard, so it didn't matter anyway. Whatever.
Yep. But Doorables still does a whole fantastic. There's a great Reddit community, a ginormous spreadsheet
Mm.
that you can pull things. And we did get some new Doorables. I got the series 2 Star Wars Doorables. We lucked out and got one of the rares from them. We got Mace Windu, so that was nice. Because all I did is pull it and go, purple lightsaber. What is it? Purple lightsaber. But anyway, so that's what we picked up at the end of the year, and now we're talking about what are some of the trends and things that we want to see go away, particularly from 2024, and then what are some of the things we want to see coming up this year. So we're going to be leaving it behind. So this might be a little part 2 of the airing of grievances from Festivus. I know a few of the things I have lined up are just general things that we're talking about. Like I know we have a picture up for the one character using as a great example because it was taken as a shot. And I know that character was like from 2022, but I want it gone. Period. Not the character. Character figure looks great. So
I want to start with mine.
Oh God, this is a hot take.
Mickey says, I'm leaving Hasbro Star Wars behind. I'm done with it. I don't want any more. I'm just sick of it, especially the vintage collection, which is what I was specifically collecting. The prices just keep getting higher and higher and higher, and I won't stand for it anymore. And I'm not gonna say I'm not mad about all the Star Wars content we're getting, but just
No.
all those lines of those shows, and I don't know, it just feels like overwhelming, or maybe like we're just drowning in it now, and it's just like I got to put a hold on it. No more Star Wars until something new happens.
I'll agree with the fact of the vintage collection. I don't particularly like the 3.25 scale figures.
Mhm.
I will give Hasbro credit where credit is due because those figures are stunning. The amount of detail that they can get on them.
True.
I will give them that. But again, I don't like the 3.5 inch scale or 3.75 scale. Just because of the size of the one guy's finger. Because he had massive hands. So that's one I will agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, they were like $10 to $12 a pop. Now they're like $17 to $18 a pop.
Yeah, they literally took over the space of what Black Series was.
And I mean, Black Series is still like 25, 30 for like a deluxe, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, but
30. I was just saw IG-12 and Grogu for 33 or at Walmart the other day.
It's just like that vintage collection just keeps creeping closer and closer to the 6-inch scale prices, and I'm like, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my hot take.
Well, I like that one.
Yeah. So what's next? This is you. I
So-
alternated them.
So one thing that we finally got confirmation is last year that the Power Ranger, it's not Saban's anymore, but I'll give you a pass on that because I am the guru of the grid.
Thanks, Mickey.
I just found the logo, damn
it. So the Lightning Collection is no more. As everybody knows, my Lightning Collection figures are now tucked away. I did get the one last figure that was released it was announced in 2023, kind of released in 2024. And this is a pinless figure, but we'll talk about that shortly.
Yeah.
So that's going away, and coming up, we're going to talk about that on what we're hoping to see next year. So with the Lightning Collection going away, I think that there's going to be a lot of collectors out there that are very disappointed. I can't imagine what the prices are right now. Like, I'm going back trying to find a White Ranger Lightning Collection figure just to put in with my remastered collection, and the prices are kind of ridiculous. I don't technically have a Draken figure aside from I don't have a further evolved Draken figure. I have Draken 1, but not Draco 5 or Draken 3 or Draken 5. So there's that. But
Yeah.
like Kat said, we're
Yeah.
gonna see what Playmates do. And spoilers. Slow down, Kat. All right, but hopefully that this little break that Power Rangers is taking, going from the one to the next, we're gonna get something out of it, and hopefully Playmates is gonna learn from it. We'll talk
Do
about it when we get there.
do you think okay, well, we talk about do you think Playmates will do a better job with the waves as opposed to what Hasbro was doing? Because like
Well, I think that because if they take half as much oomph or chutzpah that they put into their Turtles figures between the classic line, the Mutant Mayhem line, just take
there you go.
half of that and put it into Rangers. We should have a better stand. Well, I don't know how standards for the toys are because I have not picked up a Playmates turtle in probably since I was 8 years old. So if I got to go rip a figure open, I absolutely will. Just for the sake of it to
Talking
see
about
how it
these?
is. Exactly. The new ones, yeah. If
Yeah,
they're still as good as then, that's one thing. But obviously, toy technology has advanced, and the expediency that Playmates puts out their figures, we probably could have consistent lightning. The
yeah.
other thing is that well, again, we'll get to it
We'll get to it,
later.
we'll get
Go
to
to
it,
the next
that's
slide.
fine, that's fine.
Look, man, I gotta fix my tie. No.
Oh, yeah, don't mess that up. Alright.
Yeah,
I get it from a business standpoint. I
merchandising.
I understand it. But man, why can't you just have Captain America in all stores? Why can't you have that Venom in all stores? I would understand. We're going to talk about this later too with variants, right? I
Hmm.
would understand a special variant maybe being retailer exclusive, one that makes sense. We'll get to that.
But the base figure
Yeah.
should be available everywhere.
Yeah. And mainly because these things sell out quick. Well, Venom did. That Captain America kind of hung around for a little while, but I was able to get them both. But that Venom from Walmart,
It's
forget about it.
Venom.
What what this does is it enables secondhand sellers or scalpers, right? Because
No,
they know
call them what they are, scalpers.
you can only get it in one place, and they'll go get them all, and then they will sell them on eBay for 100% markup, and it really ticks me off.
And I completely agree. Like, I wouldn't mind if, we did get that Eddie Brock Venom everywhere. I love that one. And I know I've also had my complaints about that particular figure where they should have done better with the cell shading.
Hmm.
Do the blacks and the reds, which I think we're getting another one later this year for that new Spider-Man line. Or no, I was talking about they should take the newer Venom that they did and use that on Spider-Man Unlimited.
There you go.
That type of cell shading. Now,
Yeah.
what would be fun is if Walmart got an anti-Venom version
Mm,
of the classic Spider-Man Eddie Brock cartoon. Now, that would be something to incentivize a retailer exclusive.
right.
Do for this Captain America Target exclusive, give me the color swap and give me Winter Soldier color Captain America, those whole mute colors that he had,
Oh yeah.
not from the TV series, but from the second Cap movie.
Yeah. That would be cool. Um, I'm trying to Target really picks up a lot of exclusives.
Oh God, they do.
Venom Pool was one of them. There's some more I can't think of off the top of my head, but
Red Sentry Power Ranger from the Boom Comics.
yeah. They had some really cool TMNT WWE mashups this year that
Yep.
were Target exclusive. I was able to get just one, which was Casey Jones, Cody Rhodes, but those were hard to come by too. Like they were out as soon as I'd walk in. I got lucky with one.
Yeah, I got a guy who works for Walmart, so when he gets it in his store, he lets me know when it's in there. I think the only other Target variant I have is there was that muddied Mandalorian when they fought the Mudhorn.
Yes. See, now that's cool. That's a very specific variant, right?
It sucks too.
Yeah.
It's literally it's brown Snake Eyes. We got Snake Eyes for the fact that he
That's
was. We can't afford the paint, so let's make it all one color. And it's like, oh, Mandalorian, people spend money on this. Let's just make it chocolate brown.
All right, moving on. What do we got here, Tom? What's next for you, buddy?
Now, toy technology has progressed, and I don't get me wrong, but the big retailers need to get rid of pins. Now, this is Frogman from like an old Marvel Legends line, which I'm totally cool with. But I figured this is a prime example. See how we have everything all splayed out. You can see the pins. I would like to see maybe also, if you look there, some more Build-A-Figure characters that might be a little more prominent
Yeah.
or a little more exclusive. I mean, you know how I've always thought about particular figures or particular lines where, oh, hey, the girl doesn't sell
Right.
or the person of color doesn't sell.
Right.
And you know, my thing is put them in with a character who's going to sell. Give me a 2-pack, you know? It's a plain and simple solution. You're gonna get the sale no matter what. Like, let's just talk Power Rangers for a second. The Beast Morphers Rangers, right? They were the first line of Lightning Collection, you know, 7-8 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and they were still sitting on pegs 3 years later.
Yeah.
You know, because they was like, oh, this is the new show, we're gonna do it, but because of the cast diversity, it sat there. Nothing against Rory and you know and the whole team. I love
Right.
those kids.
Right.
They're really nice guys. I've met them in person, in fact. But the fact that you know they need to make sure that they're not only diversifying, yes, the franchise or you know getting the toys out there, but they got to just make those toys a little bit better, and that's why the prices are increasing. But yeah, no more pins. No more pins. There's not a lot of brands out there, especially the ones from Hasbro. They're chilling with the pins and hoping that, you know, the smaller retailers will work out their technology. Now, one thing I do miss though about pin figures is you do get that double jointed knee, you do get that a really good double jointed elbow.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have a lot more flexibility when it comes to posing as opposed to pinless figures.
I had I don't have them out right now. Quicksilver, another Walmart exclusive this year on the
As
retro
you didn't
card.
see that coming.
Um, he was pinless and he had double jointed elbows and knees. Like I don't know how they did it, but he was good. I could pose him in any sort of way. He had a great like just build. Like I wish they would do a lot of more figures that way.
That was the 1990s classic throwback, you know,
Yeah,
Quicksilver with the
and the
blue with
green.
the yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was the green one.
yeah,
That's what it was.
yeah. It was a good one.
That was a nice figure.
It was. I enjoyed it. Go check out the review, by the way. uh, There we go. This is for both of us because when you said it, I was like, I got something to say about that too.
Yep. You can go first on this one.
And we brought it up a little earlier with variants, but they're specific variants to something that maybe were important to a story or a, you know, one golf comic or something. Cool. But they got to chill with like these like neon color things or like the Jokerized series just bothered me. Like I
Oh,
don't,
totally.
I know they somebody was buying them, but not many because they were sitting on shelves for a long time. In particular, this Hush figure at Target was probably there for like a year. No,
Wow.
this probably hasn't been a year. It's probably like 6. It felt like a long time because I'm there so often. But him and Scarecrow, that whole Batman line, the Christopher Nolan Batman line, where they did Bane and Scarecrow and Two Face and
Yep.
Christopher Bell's Batman, they were all Jokerized, and I was just like, why? Right? Like, there's a lot of Joker fans out there that probably want it, but it didn't seem like a something to really waste all that plastic on, basically.
Yeah. And you know, now again, you know me, I'll play devil's advocate. Were they developing a new line? Were they doing this? You know, did they need some filler? Did they need to get some cash in the coffers to make a
Yeah.
new line? So I will play that. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. But on the flip, let me talk about this Lord Zed. I hate this Lord Zed. I love Super 7. We know I have figures here because
Oh yeah.
you can find them all there on, you know, our Nerd Initiative YouTube on our toy reviews. But I like a variant when it makes sense. Lord Zed never glowed like this. Okay.
Right.
And
right.
I've even been being a Power Ranger guy. I've never, ever, ever in 30 plus years, never liked the black and gold series. Never. With a passion, I just don't like it. If I want a Megazord, I want a Megazord to look like my Megazord.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I like, you know, the lucky variants and whatnot that were exclusive in Japan. Like, are you familiar with the Red Saba?
No.
Exactly. Like it was like 1 in 5,000 kind of deal.
We're talking
That
about
was back.
Tommy's Saba.
Yep.
Okay.
So there is a lucky red variant of Saba that was never released here in the States. That is crazy super rare, like super duper 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 rare. Like you thought it was just a wrong thing.
Yeah.
But that was cool.
Right.
You know? But when you're making a whole line or a whole figure of a variant that no one asked for, no one, don't get me wrong, it is a cool thing, but was it needed? If you're going to do a glow in the dark Zed, do him in red when he gets pissed off and
Yeah,
heated,
that would've
not,
been cool.
And I know Super 7 also did, when we were talking to Brian Volkweiss at New Comic Con, there's a very specific episode of Transformers where Grimlock is wearing an apron and carrying tea
Yeah.
around. Well, they did that in the Super 7 line, but you still got that as an accessory to the figure, because him Grimlock, him King, him need the perfect figure,
Right. Oh,
you
man.
know?
The glow in the dark stuff makes sense when it's a character that would kinda glow
Give
in
me
the
a Green
dark.
Lantern. Give me a Blue
Um,
Lantern.
for example, I just got a notification that my Toxic Avenger that I pre-ordered is being in my pile of loot, but
Perfect.
it's the normal one, but they do make a glow in the dark version, which totally makes sense, right?
Exactly.
He's radiated, he would glow, it's fine, but
Uncle Lloyd approves. Trust me.
but yeah, that Zed makes no sense. Anytime they do something like that with a character that just why do they need to glow in the dark? I
And I think, and we'll go on top of it, when they were doing the King in Black storyline in Marvel, we started
Mhm.
having all these Venomized figures.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
How many Venomized pops are there out now right now?
I
And how many Venomized
countless,
pops are yeah,
countless.
like I go to my local store, thank you, Justin. And there's a good 4 foot chunk on the shelves just of these Venomized pops. I'm like, I can't even I like a Venom variant. I always like variant. I like, punk rock covers. I like artistic takes, but
Yeah,
they got to take it in the right direction.
yeah. It was I
Was
think
that
it's
was
just
this
a
was this a tantrum? Was this,
it's fine. No, I
do
feel
do we
you.
do we
I
need
feel
the
you.
do we need the graphic?
As a big yeah, as a big Venom fan, he's right there.
Yep.
Venom's cool, but man, yeah, after King in Black, they beat that dead horse to a second death. Like it was
Even in the third Venom movie.
yeah, and that, man, gosh knows. It was just, do we have to do this? Do we have to keep venomizing everything? Symbiotes.
And that too, like, there's how many symbiotes out right now? Give me symbiote versions, not venomized versions. Give
Yeah,
me a mayhem Groot. Give me, toxin. Give me another. Give me a toxin Miss Marvel.
there
You
you go.
know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Totally makes sense. So let's move on. Next up.
Yeah. I again, I love the Super 7. I hate this line. I just, I don't get it. I really don't. Yes, you're pandering to those of us who grew up with those figures.
Yeah,
Okay. I get that. I understand. We're going back to classic figures on cards. We're getting great card art. But
but
no.
man, they are expensive too for what they
And,
are.
and that's it. And, especially like Parks and Rec right there. Or, the Beastie Boys. You're going to have to pay how much in likeness fees and
Yeah,
all that on top of it?
and
No.
I guess that's what the price is. And I put that Boys one up there because I laughed when you said reaction. That I bought all 3 of those. Those are the only reaction figures I have, but it spoke to me. I saw them all at Target together, and I was like, "I'll probably never see all 3 of them together again. I'm gonna buy them right now," even though they were way too much. Like, I was like,
You
I
paid probably $60 for them.
almost, yeah, almost. They were like, yeah, about.
And I'll play devil's advocate here. These are great figures if you have limited shelf space and you can't do the 6-inch figure. Okay, I get it. Cool,
I
but
think it's
3 points of articulation, no.
yeah. I think they're cool for like I don't know. If you're a very specific collector, like you just collect GI Joe stuff, right? Nothing else,
Yeah, that's
and
great.
you want maybe a couple of them or something. Maybe I guess I don't know. These are things that you'll never open. I would hope, right? The whole I feel like the whole allure of them is the card art, and especially the back, because the figures are. I mean, they're just there. They're not really. You can't pose
There's
them.
nothing to
They
write
don't even.
home about.
They don't even look. Other than that, Cobra Commander was not hard to look like Cobra Commander. They don't look very much like their
Yeah,
characters.
no,
I'll say,
no more reaction figures. Just no.
uh, just no. Okay, so we're gonna say goodbye to these things in
Well, we
2024.
want to say goodbye to some of them. We know that capitalism still reigns, and they'll still
Oh,
make those figures.
we will meet again, I'm sure.
And I'll reaction, my discontent at the end of the year. But
Yeah,
there's great things. The one fantastic word that Stanley always said, Excelsior. So what do we have coming out in 2025?
I'm glad you asked, and as soon as it loads, we will find out. Here we go.
Oh, look at that cool emoji.
Future's so bright, we got to wear shades, right?
Bling bling.
So I'm trying to remember who I put up there first. I think it was me. Yes.
Yep.
So when they announced these figures,
Wow.
probably about like 6 months ago, maybe 5-6 months ago,
Yep.
I'm probably not the biggest Legend of Zelda fan, but I am a big fan, right? I don't
Oh
have a whole
yeah.
lot of collectibles concerning the franchise. Play a lot of the game. I think I missed like maybe 2 or 3 games total out of the whole series. But Tears of the Kingdom did something to me. Like it like grabbed me and pulled me deeper. I
Well,
loved it so much.
let's think. All right, I'm gonna. It's probably one of the first true sequels we've ever had in a Zelda game.
True.
We've had games that have tied to each other,
Right.
but we know that this is A to B. A lot of the reactions that we got from the story click. I think the fan, feedback as far as how much more you could do in the same world you already know,
Mhm.
really, really hit. So I can see where you're coming from on this. This probably was one of my top 5 games of
Yeah.
last year, a year before even.
So when I saw these figures, well, first one was Link that they released for pre-order, and they had two
Ha ha
a deluxe one
ha!
and a regular one. I got the regular one just because I couldn't justify the extra like $40 for a couple more accessories.
Yeah.
But man, if they look half as good as they look in all of their promotional photos, and they're pricey too. All right, like I had to push myself like go ahead and just order it, dude. But I did it. They look great. I really hope they look that good in my hand. Then they did Zelda with like the corrupted master sword in her hand. Dope. I'm in. And then we got this version of Ganondorf who has a ton of accessories himself, like 3 different heads with different facial expressions and weapons, a huge bow and arrow, that huge staff of his. I just got super excited about the whole thing, and I spent a ton of money on it, and I don't care.
Yeah, I'm looking here on so these are by the Good Smile Company.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, price wise, I get it, but I'm looking at their other figures, and these are gorgeous.
Man, if they are what I have seen in these photos, I have no problem shelling out that price for those.
I'm in. I'm totally in. I mean, I know that there's another figure line that I might want to get into this year, which I haven't talked about, but I've mentioned it before. The best action figures,
Yeah.
because they're doing what Hasbro didn't. Sticking at that $20 price point with a bunch of accessories, and on top of it, they even do chases per cases.
Yeah.
So I'm completely down with that. But yeah, those are gorgeous figures. Why didn't I? Someone had told me I would put my money up for that.
All right.
Damn.
So you ready for your number 3?
My number 3
Your number 3
is the Super Sentai 50th anniversary. Now, this is Are we doing the Super Sentai and Power Rangers one as 2 separate, or is this all tied together?
That's all tied together. When you sent it, and I was like, I just looked up 50th anniversary, and this is what I got. So I figured we could just talk about it all together.
Okay. So Super Sentai is celebrating its 50th anniversary. Now, a few years ago, back around just a little bit past Gokaiger, so that's 10 plus years ago, obviously, the figure arts started to dwindle. We didn't get every single Ranger. And then randomly, like a few seasons ago, for King Oger, we got the Red Ranger.
That's a great looking figure, too.
It is a fantastic figure. He's just been hanging out on my shelf waiting for this opportunity just to come back out. So the fact that we started getting figure arts again, this is a good thing. Now with the last big Kamen Rider anniversary season, Geo, which was very, very either you loved it or hate it.
Right.
We got figures out that came with these Geo stands. Like I came prepared tonight.
Nice.
These are supposed to look like the little well, I'd say morpher, but the henshin device
Yeah.
objects that you use to change that Geo could use to empower the Ranger or to empower the Kamen Rider with that particular season. But we got throwback figures. So that's how I was able to get like, oh, I really liked, Kamen Rider Build. I didn't have a Build figure when Build came out, and the Build figures were hell expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got Build through the Geo line. So hoping that with the Super Sentai series, we're going to get something out of that. I'd love to get some throwback figures or, fill out this, and the other thing. Like there are obvious teams that are not finished from the Figure Arts line.
Right.
One in particular is Hurricaneger, which is what we know as Ninja Storm.
Okay.
Right? They didn't do the Green Ranger. They didn't do the 6 guy.
Yeah.
Every single other one of them I have. I have Hurricane Red, Blue, Yellow, and the Go Rangers, right?
Okay.
Which are the Thunder Rangers. They were named 2 different teams. But we don't have the Samurai Ranger. We don't have, Shurikenger.
And these are all SH Figuarts that you're talking about?
These are all SH Figuarts,
Okay.
specifically. I don't have very many little non-figure art things. Like I might, pick up a vinyl every once in a blue moon if it comes through, the shop. But to go out, no, I tend to keep my Sentai figures strictly figure arts.
Okay.
And this one's only, this is only two points.
And so will this lead to a new Power Rangers line?
We don't know.
Okay.
So when you say new Power Rangers line, are we talking a new series and all that? I don't know. That production stuff is completely different. But what I am excited for, since we're going to segue off Super Sentai into Power Rangers, if you didn't catch the news, yes, Hasbro is not doing the Lightning Collection, but Hasbro has now given all toy distribution and licensing to Playmates. Because even though Hasbro is not making the figures, they still own Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
So Playmates, those who've been making Ninja Turtles for years and years and years now, for over 30 plus years, they're going to be picking up. And we do have figures on the way. I'm interested to see if they're going to stay in that 6-inch scale.
Right.
Look, we know they make great figures. The Turtles are still some of my favorite figures as a kid. How they're going to deal with it is, are they going to, I don't think they can call it Lightning Collection. I don't know if they can say it, Lightning Strikes Twice Collection. I don't know.
Right.
The Power Collection, are they going to keep it exact to, what's another team of Rangers? Prime example, right? Turbo Rangers.
Yeah.
There's only one so far.
Okay.
So I need 5 more. Or, well, there's the Phantom Ranger and Blue Centurion. But I still need, 4 more.
Right.
Are we going to make sure that these go hand in hand? Is it going to be a seamless transition? Is it going to be a little bit bigger? When we went from the Legacy Collection from Bandai to the Lightning Collection when Hasbro took over, they're soup to nuts different.
Mm-hmm.
The Bandai figures, back when it was still owned by Nickelodeon, were these big, bulky, barrel-chested figures like, oh, look, I've got abs on abs on abs on abs. And then you go to these Lightning figures, which are great. And, I've bitched about them in the past because reasons.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that we get some really good Super Sentai figures, right?
Yeah.
And because of the anniversary season, and I really hope that Playmates knocks us out of the park.
I kind of feel like just knowing what Playmates does with a lot of the other properties, it's going to be a lot of older stuff, probably like original stuff, or at least at
and
first.
That's the thing. Let's be honest. The first 4 freaking waves are all going to be Mighty Morphin, Tommy, Mighty Morphin, Jason, Tommy. Look, I get that. It's their cash cow. I've gone off on this many times. All right. But this is where Playmates can, take a note from everything we've seen over the past several years in this adult collector line and finally do it right.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that they take my idea of double packs of figures, especially with a lesser known character or the girl or whatever. I want to really see that. like there have been times where it's like, what is it? Lost Galaxy. I know they've done the whole Lost Galaxy team, right? I don't have it all because again, for me as a collector, I wanted to get the figures that I relate to or I liked your story.
Right.
Not that there's anything wrong with the Sky Cowboy or Serena Vincent or Archie Cow. I love those guys. They're great. They're great people. But I really wanted the Mike and Leo story. And of course I had to have the Pink Ranger because of, Valerie Vernon's whole thing. And I even switched out and put an astronomer head on it if I freaking wanted to. Because I can.
That's true.
So hopefully Playmates and I just make my tokusatsu better. That's it. Enough said.
Enough said. On to the next. Let's go to number 2 for moi.
Yeah. We talked about this in my house.
We talked about this earlier on the show as well. I don't remember what episode it was. It was a toy news segment, though. When it was announced, super hyped for it. I finally got my pre-order in for it. Super hyped for it. And I mean, I know it's just Grimlock with a Megatron head.
But it's Grimlock with a Megatron.
I don't care because it's also Goji. I'm like, oh man, sure, I need another Grimlock like I need a hole in the head. But like, I mean, look at it. It's just badass, pardon the French.
So we talked about this one in my house, and it's on the backlist. It's on the app. We find it at a good price. It's one of those I don't need it right now, but if it comes on clearance kind of deal that we talk about quite often. So that's how we're gonna rule on that one. Now, on the flip, am I looking forward to seeing what crossovers we get this year from the Hasbro's and crossover line? Yeah, just no boopable noses.
Just no boopable noses. I didn't bring it up. They also have like a laser Optimus Prime with like the Mecha Godzilla color scheme, but I was like, I don't care. Like, I just want the Godzilla one. I want the Grimlock one.
Do you need another Optimus?
No, especially not one that's like, I don't like that version of him anyway, and I don't care about him just being silver, basically.
Yep.
So what does Cat say right here? If I remember, yes, it is for pre-order. I think it still is. I think it's still available too, if you go on Big Bad Toy Store. So
give me 2 seconds. I'm on Big Bad right now, so I can always reference it.
I'm pretty sure they both are. I don't think they sold out yet. I could be wrong.
Because I two screen. Yeah, pre-order for this bad boy is $64.99 on Big Bad Toy Store. And yes, there is also the Transformers Godzilla Synergex series, Optimus Prime. Yeah, and he just transforms into his truck mode. Like, he doesn't even transform into, like, it's just a color.
Exactly. It's just a color scheme.
Yeah. Now, see, variant we don't need.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you. Good night.
Full circle. All right, let's move on to Tom's number 2.
So this is collecting in a different way because you got to catch them all.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing. So when I looked it up, and I was like, oh, I didn't know there was another Pokemon game coming out.
Yep. So Pokemon Legends Z Alpha is going to be the prequel, very much like it's in the XY. We never got a Z. It was one of the few generations that never came with a third game. So what they're going to do is they're going to do like they did with Legends Arceus and do a game in this style. And I think what's really cool is that this is also going to loosely tie to Scarlet and Violet because there is a massive, massive game theory that Mega Evolution and what's the new one? Terrestrialization are related somehow. We know we're getting some new megas. This is going to be fun. And there has been some news in the past few days, so definitely go and look it up. If you're a spoiler person, go look at the spoilers. Just don't come back here and tell us. All right? Or at least tell us on the comments. DM me directly. I also didn't play X and Y, so I'm looking forward to this. This will be my first playthrough playing in this particular region, and also dealing with Mega Evolution and how do I incorporate it into my teams and everything. One thing I will say, I wish that does come out of this game series is I hate direct XP share,
And
because it's not fair.
is that
It's like, oh hey, I'm just going to use my ace. I'm going to make him 100, just boot him right up to 100, and then hey, who do I need to still evolve? You can be down on my 6th slot.
okay?
No,
I see what
XP
you mean now.
share should be for one character,
Okay, for one Pokemon, like
for
not
one
all of them.
Pokemon. Here's your ace, and whatever one is holding the item gets the extra XP.
Okay, yeah, never thought
That's
of
just
it
me.
like that. That was a good way to evolve some Pokemon real quick, though. uh, my number one is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Sentinel from X-Men '97, the very large 22 to 23-inch one. That's
Now
gonna
this was the HasLab, right?
no.
No, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused with Giant Man. That's why.
Giant Man. They did do like a regular Sentinel as a HasLab, but it was more like, I don't know, it was realistic looking. It had nothing to do with like the cartoon or comics. It was just kind of like they made their own Sentinel, kind of like they did with Galactus. But this one is X-Men '97 specific, and since I don't have a Sentinel, I was very. This is the one I would want, right? Like the one from
Yeah,
the animated show.
remember that.
Also because I have both of those waves completed, so this will go really good. Even comes with some cool blast effects, and like he's got like a damaged face and like a damaged chest piece.
Now, can we
And
just pop the whole? Now, how many modders are going to like hollow out the chest piece and put like Beast inside
oh man, that would be
it?
awesome.
Just saying.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't gotten any of those HasLabs, so I don't have like one of these huge giant figures. And this one was actually not bad priced, like for what it is. And I was like, dude, this is the one I'm gonna get then. And this is the one I would want anyway. Even though,
And it's in great scale too.
yeah, even though I would love to have like a Galactus, but I'm never gonna have it because it's just too much money. But yeah, I saw this. I mean, I wish I could afford more than one because it would be cool to have like a 3-piece coming at you. But I just got the one. But it looked
Well,
good. It looked good.
I will say this, talking about unnecessary variants in large figures, the really weird Modoc that they had
With
out a few years ago with the
with the
slick back hair and the Elvis looking
yes.
dude, he's at Ollie's now for like
Dude,
20
like,
bucks.
there was, like,
So,
a
it,
100 of them before Christmas, and I went in the other day, they still have 100. Nobody bought those things.
no, who the heck wants it? So, God forbid that this doesn't sell. I'll help you, army build this bad boy if I see him.
If for some reason this thing were to go that route, yeah, I would buy an army of them.
Seriously.
That would just be a fun
Now,
setup.
what's also be a good one if they did, just speculating here, if they did the Tri Sentinel from the cartoon and did that as a HasLab,
I was gonna say that would feel more like a HasLab kinda thing because
that
that would be
and
huge.
on top of it, if you hit that stretch goal, sorry folks, spoilers, give us the armature with Gambit on it.
In his tuxedo. His little white
Exactly. Like
yeah, yeah.
let's recreate the scene. Just make that. It's not a figure. It's a shelf piece at that point. Like I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know how you could really make it move or whatnot. Like you could do little chitterlings or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, like that's a fun theory figure like HasLab. I know our corporate overlords, Hasbro, are you hearing us? We're just two random guys on the internet, but do the thing.
I wouldn't mind having, like, a master mold in this version either.
Ooh.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and we got more X-Men '97 plus that new wave that they just announced. We're going to be getting the new one, and Build-A-Figs. Who's the Build-A-Fig for that?
You're talking about that it's not X-Men '97, right? It's just
No, but they just announced a new X-Men Legends line this week.
it's a Nemesis character. He's a deep cut when it comes to Marvel. But yeah, they're cool. That's got like the Fabian Cortez, Marrow, X
Yep,
Factor, Cyclops, Extreme Wolverine, X Force Nightcrawler, and Husk. I think.
yep. Now I wouldn't mind having Marrow and just setting her up against one of my Mega Man figures and just do Marvel Capcom 3 figure setup.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Or even like get, God forbid if I spent money on those terrible Street Fighter Power Ranger crossovers. Yes, I said they're terrible.
Yeah, I didn't want them.
Have Crimson Hawk versus come on, what's even worse one? The Cobra Kai figures.
Oh man, don't even get me started. And
Oh,
I love that
I can
show,
do
by
one
the
more.
way. It's a
I can do
guilty
one
pleasure.
more.
Go ahead. What you got?
There was the red yellow comic book variant where Jason and Trini had switched powers.
Yes.
The figures were bashed so hard when they came out because they just took, and the worst one was it came to the head sculpts of the helmets. They didn't make a a thinner female style Red Ranger helmet. They just took, here's the butch football helmet and put it on the girl, and here's the skinny girl helmet and put it on the guy.
Mm.
Like the saber-tooth tiger helmet is so close to Triceratops, you just needed to just do a little extra remold
Yeah.
and trim a little bit off of here for the other one. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Again, stupid variants we don't need.
I
I
was
don't have Yale of Sard.
I was
Like
looking
I
at
have
that
to
one.
probably get a 3D print.
I was looking at an image of that one when I was making our
Variants we
presentation
don't
gear,
need.
and
Yeah.
I almost put it up there. I was like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do it."
Oh no, I would have. See, look, you knew I can do it.
All right, let's move on to your number one.
It's yeah, Age of Primes, baby. Look, I don't collect. Okay, I do collect Transformers, folks. I don't collect mainline Transformers. Okay, we all know, and I've got them hiding in here somewhere, but it's because they're really behind me, and I'm not going to turn around. Can I go like that? Yeah,
Yeah,
they're right there ish. As I got War Greymon sitting there. But yeah, the crossover figures I'm down for, but the fact that they're like expanding Transformers lore, I don't know specifically if I'm going to get like that G2 Grimlock or the Waspinator figure, which was an excellent episode of Transformers, the animated series. Transformers animated. I probably will stick to just the primes themselves. I think Hasbro needs to make sure they do all 12 primes. Right. And so far, we've already got what, 3 in the first wave? No, 4.
4.
Because you got Star Optimus, Megatronus, and the other 2, the purple and the silver one.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember names. We've already got 3 of the 5 aerial bots. So that means we are getting a combiner.
Woohoo.
And what they have been doing lately, and tell me if I'm wrong here, Mickey, the combiners have kind of been interchangeable. So the legs can be arms, and the arms can be legs.
I didn't know about that.
Yep. So some of them they can. The G2 Grimlock, if I had to between Godzilla and G2 Grimlock, I would go Godzilla on this one.
Yeah, same.
And that Red Alert there from the Cybertron trilogy, I liked that figure. I like that character. Again, it comes down to, for me, does that character really make a difference to me? Is it, did I like their story? Did I like their person? Did I like this, that, and other thing? That's what makes me buy figures, really. So, but yeah, absolutely, I will be getting every prime this year.
Megatronus is awesome. That's the one that stood out to me the most when I.
Yeah, and it's just a Megatron, repaint with some blast effects and a new head sculpt. But whatever.
Heck yeah, man! Can't wait. 2025 is gonna be our year. I can feel it.
All right, let me do it again. What a time to But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming out this year. We've got, our normal content is still coming out. Tomorrow night, it's, since we're talking about new things for the new year, we're doing a new X-Men issue tomorrow night on Turnipage. Nice. Because I literally just twisted Ken's arm and said I want to do something that has new in the title. So that's what we're doing. We're doing the E for Extinction storyline.
Oh, nice. That'll be fun.
Yep. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow night. I said it was kind of weird because we're not doing an interview or a special or something. It's like,
it's been a while.
One of these lately.
Yeah. It's been a while.
So there's that. We've got, obviously, on Wednesday, we've got all our fantastic comic book reviews coming out. Nobody on the internet does comic book reviews like the Nerd Initiative. At least over 24, my God, and then some.
And then some.
I know I've got at least 4 this week I'm doing.
Oh, look at you taking on a load.
Yeah. Well, I did call, and I think I can finally say this here on the internet. I called the highest of dibs. I will be doing the whole What If Galactus series for all of January.
Nice.
For consistency's purpose.
Yeah.
And I know I've got, some Dynamite. I've got Lucky Devils because I love Charles Soule and his 8 Billion Genies. So that follow-up's coming up this week with Lucky Devils. So yeah, there's a lot. And then, obviously right now, if you're not watching us live, that's probably because you're watching Raw on Netflix. And I know the guys on our wrestling show are going to be talking about it this Thursday because it is something that's literally changing the industry. So make sure you drop in from the top rope and talk to Ken and Rich about, and Nick, just Nick, not new guy Nick. He's just Nick.
It's just Nick.
Kat's got 2 reviews. She's ready to go.
Yeah.
But
We're
we've got all
this close to the road to WrestleMania, and you're going to want to follow along with those guys. It's coming.
Yeah, whatever that is. I don't. Dude, I remember Jake the Snake. Okay, I'm old. All right, people, make sure to drink your milk and say your burgers. But again, we've got all the great stuff coming out from Nerd Nation. So in the meantime, make sure if you're not watching this live that you are subscribed to get those so you know everything that's going on. Hit that bell so you can keep up with everything. And smack that thumbs up so the GEO Mike knows we're doing our job right. In the meantime, check us out on all the social medias. Make sure to follow along with Mickey and everything that he's got going on. Make sure to follow me. We're everywhere, man. Just do it. We're worldwide. We got conventions coming up this year. We've got all sorts of stuff, stuff we can talk about, stuff we can't talk about, stuff we want to talk about. And we wanted you to be there along with us.
Yes. Please.
Yeah. Seriously.
Man.
And it's a year, man.
It's been a long year. All 6 days of it.
I know. Seriously. There's how many, store recalls and stupid stuff going on.
It only gets better.
Yeah. And that's the truth. So thank you so very much again, folks, for joining us. We will see you next week. And make sure that when you play
for keeps.